Yeah, I figured it's probably about time to do a project car update here. As you can see, the Dart is still being worked on slowly, but it's getting there. But figured park all the cars back here and do a little update on everything. I don't remember how much you guys remember the Dakota, but that I haven't done nothing but drive it. I did get the spare tire mounted, and it works as it should, so I can still drop the tailgate. And no, these are not the wheels that are for it. Those wheels are actually for the silver Lincoln, which I haven't even drove this year. I just left it parked, tabs expired, had a shit battery, and I see the left front tire, or the right front tire there is low. The 5th, I've actually been driving that. I got it going again this spring. I put the front hydraulic cylinders, which I bought for that, stole them for that, so I would buy a third pair for that because the first pair got put in the limo. But I did get the rear speaker shelf put in that I made, plaque mounted, and other than that, it's just been driven. But come maybe springtime, I will be ditching the leaf springs back here and putting a 4-link out of it, out of a 80s Lincoln Town car like that one. I already got the rear axle, I got the lower links, I just gotta make the 4 links and put in the cross member. But I noticed from 3-wheeling that the leaf spring has been hitting the frame rail there. You can see a tire has been rubbing there, because this is actually a Ford Explorer 88 rear diff, and it has an offset center section. So the right side axle is like 1.5 inches shorter than, or 3 inches shorter, something like that, than the left side. And from 3-wheeling, you can see my shackles are getting all tweaked. Well, left side's not too bad, but the right side is definitely tweaked, so that'll take care of all that. The limo, I've been driving that, but I did do a couple things to it. I did finally wire in some lights in the back, but I still gotta figure out the sunroof, because when I go to open it, it'll either open all the way and not close. If I go to close, it'll pop the fuse. But if I switch the wires around on the motor, which I have to remove the rear headliner, you can see I don't have the cover on that. I gotta drop the rear headliner to get at the wires to swap them around, and then I can close it, and vice versa. And a couple other things I did. Let's see here. The pupper dogs. I wired up some LED strips in the center reflector there, because they always bug the hell out of me that it never lit up. So there's actually 2 LED strips in there. Well, there's 3, and the center one works with the brake lights and the blinker. And I added a poor man's drag hitch to put a trailer hitch on it, so I can drag the ball and throw sparks all over the ground, because what the hell, why not? The dually, the 97 dually, that's just been a workhorse, but it's got issues. Bondo's popping off. It's actually glued back on, but I do have a new door for it in the garage. The rear cab here, you can see it's all full of Bondo, and it's all bent to hell because it did get sideswiped. So I got a new section of a quad cab door to weld in here, because you can only buy patch panels that go up to this byline or this byline, and nothing that comes all the way up to the window. So I got a new piece that comes about here, and we'll fix all that. I got another box for it because this one is literally coming apart at all the seams. There's a ratchet strap holding it on so that my tire gate or tailgate actually doesn't fall off. As you can see, it's already fallen off. And that happens every time I drive it. Got a new dually fender for this side because this side was busted from a blowout and repaired at one point. I do got another hood for it also. So that's going to take quite a bit of work. I don't know when the hell I'm going to get to that. I'll just drive it as it is and go from there and fix it when I can, because I've got, well, you know, so many projects. The old winter beater, the hell was it? Fall? Spring? Must have been spring. I drove it back here. The left control arm actually is so rotted, it broke the ball joint area. So I had to replace that. It started running like shit. And replaced fuel filters. Kept replacing them, it started running like shit, like it was not getting fuel. So, what I find out, I gotta lube them doors, is my universal key here. The trunk floor actually rotted out. The top of the tank was rotted out. So there was a bunch of sand in here, and it was just going into the fuel tank and plugging up fuel lines. So I ended up having to, I just put that fuel tank in it out of my parts car. And when I undid the strap, undid the right side strap, fuel tank strap here, it actually started leaking out from there. So it was a good thing I finally replaced it. But in probably a month, if that, that'll get driven. Everything else will be parked. So I'll be down to that one vehicle. And I'm sure you're all wondering about that. This is my brother's 1940 Dodge business coupe. Pre-original, very straight. As far as we can tell, it's only had one paint job in its life. You can see he's got the original rear bumper filler. I mean, look how clean that interior is. The headliner, it's stained. It's all there. It's got one hole I see now, but it is a clean car. No rust. No body rust, anyways. A couple dings and dents and scratches, but what can you expect from something this old? But the reason why this is here, it ran, it drove, he drove it last year, parked it for the winter, and had a hell of a time getting it going. And he found out maybe the fuel lines or something rotted out. But original straight 6 yet. He did have to put plug wires on because I think one of them were chewed through or something. A couple of them were. But he had a hell of a time getting this thing going. And then it has no brakes, so. But it's not here to fix those. Well, it is, but. Yeah, he's got a trunk full of parts. And you can tell what's going to happen. It's getting dropped down to the ground. He's got full front suspension for it, airbags. I think he's got 4-link for it. So this will be getting put in here. The dart's going to get moved over. The 40 is going to go over here. And it's going to get tore apart. The straight 6 is getting yanked out. And we are putting I think he's got 54 331 Hemi for it. And he's going to put a A833 4-speed behind it, so it's gonna be a tight fit, but it'll be awesome. Get that right. Look at all that. And being a business coupe, you go behind the front seat here. That's where the spare tire was. I can get shit going back here. And then I believe that is an access panel. So you can flip down the front seat and get the stuff in the trunk there too. So Dodge Brothers. But it is a pretty sweet car. I wish, almost dropped the camera. I wish my 47 was that clean. But that will be getting dropped down probably after the Dart and the Dakota probably. And the 5th, of course, is done. I'll work on that, because that I also have a, can't really see it here now. I have a 55 331 Hemi for it. But of course the LeBaron coupe, that's still just sitting because that needs rockers, front floors, front frame rails. It needs everything. It should probably be scrapped, but it's only a 2-year car and it will be rebuilt because it's a sister to that. That's a 2-door version of that. As you can see, we got the 5th Avenue parts car, which is getting pretty well stripped now. Parts galore. Got a 35 Chevy Master Deluxe. If anyone's looking, that's for sale. This is the 88, 87, something like that. Lincoln Town Car parts car that I actually stole, cut the frame out so I can get the front cross member for the upper trailing arms for the 5th. This is what the axle came out of. But I should probably just finish stripping this and get rid of that. Got the 46 Dodge truck on a motorhome chassis with part of a motorhome for a bed that I want, because I want to build this into a ramp truck. Right now it has a it's got a 440 in it, 727 tranny. But that is actually my brother's engine. He got the motorhome for the engine and was going to get rid of the rest, so I figured I would build a ramp truck because I've always loved ramp trucks. And we got, this is a 46 Dodge truck that was sitting in the garage on a 87, 88, something like that, Dakota chassis. I finally got a correct box for it, but I need a pair of rear fenders. I would like to run the artillery wheels, but I've only got 2 that are decent. Matter of fact, I don't even know where the hell the third... oh, there's 2 there. I got a 3rd one, but it's bent. And this one, I got it all covered up. We'll be running a good old Lean Tower Power Slant 6. Just because they look somewhat original, but yet be different. With a 3-speed automatic. I'd like to find a aluminum case 4-speed, but I highly doubt I'll find one that's reasonably priced. And I gotta find the 46 Dodge truck with a 39 Dodge nose, so I gotta find the chrome trim, because I always like the swooping down trim rather than just like the crosshair trim. Oh yeah, and for the dually, I got some 22.5 semi wheels. I gotta pick up one more, and I gotta get them milled down to run regular 22-inch tires, and find a set of adapters for it, which ain't cheap. So that ain't gonna be for a while. But I got so many other projects that I ain't worried about that right now. This is that 47 D24 sedan. Got a little bit more room in here than I think the 40 for the Hemi. But I gotta find a hood for this. I suppose it is fixable, but well, maybe not. Oh well, it's all split down the seam. And another part to add to the list. But I believe, well, that covers everything except for the Dart, which I may do a video on later. I do got most of the body work done on it though. I just got to finish up one spot on the other side. You can see there's now a bunch of new holes in the taillight panel because I got a 75, 76 Dart Sport trim that goes all the way across, so. But I'm going to get this in paint today, the trunk floor, and get all the finish jamming it. Get all that in base coat anyways. But got a long ways to go yet. And see, I got the sunroof there. There's the door for the dually. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do to that sunroof, or the T-top roof, I should say. Got the motor, the tranny for the Dart, the seats, the rear axle, power steering, front suspension, front and rear bumpers. I got the insides all painted up, base coat, but there is some runs and whatnot, so I gotta get them sanded down, do another base, and get them in flake. Of course, there is the dash, center console, and everything else there. So that will be a update on all the projects we got going on here for now. We might do some videos on the Dodge this winter once we get it in here. I know he's getting excited about doing that. But that's a wrap on this video. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe, and we'll see you later. If there's anything else you want to see, drop it in the comments. As I was parking vehicles putting back away, I realized that I didn't really talk about the Dakota, being that all I've been doing is driving, so yeah, it's dirty. But I put my chain link steering wheel in there from Forever Sharp steering wheels. Put that in there this spring. I got chrome wheel well trim, the vent visors, the visor, and new taillights, headlights, the clear marker lights. Swapped out the painted bumpers for chrome along with the grille, and I've just been driving it. But I'm running a 74 Dart Sport rear axle in it, which is way too narrow. So I got, I think, 1-inch spacers in there right now to get the rear tires where they are. But there's also no shocks locations on the Dart axle, so it just bounces down the road. And to fix that, I have another, I think this is actually the original axle housing with 5 lug axle shafts it does have a sure grip center section, but that's had 355 gears in it, and with the 14s, it would be all aired out. So the dart axle, that speedometer is actually dead nuts on with the 14s on there. So I gotta take the gears from that rear axle and put them in that rear axle. So you can see I got the 5 little drums right there too. So come springtime, I'll have to do that. And I got a hell of a fucking vibration shake in the steering wheel, and it needs the complete front end rebuilt. It needs ball joints, tie rods. I gotta tighten up the wheel bearings because I see felt the one has a little bit of play. I gotta do all that. I have another frame out back to do all that, to pull the control arms off of so I can paint them, and then I can pull those springs and cut them, get the front end dropped down for now, because that needs to be dropped. It sits way too high. It's stock height in the front. I got 1 or 2 inch drop blocks in the rear, maybe the 3s, but that's the plan for the springtime, is get the front end rebuilt, get the diff rebuilt, and cruise it some more. And I got plans for it, but I also got to do some rust repair on that. Both bed sides, I got a pair of new front fenders for it, cruise control unit, because I ended up ditching that, but I want to put that back in now. I figured out a way I'm going to do that. And because I take that down to southern Wisconsin quite a bit, so that'll be nice to have cruise again. That's like a 5-hour drive one way, so that'll be nice. But I noticed I didn't talk about the Ram Runner, because, well, that has been sitting all summer long as well, because it's got expired tabs and a flat tire, and with the 390 stroker in it, that thing is just a pure gas hog. So there it sits. Race car body off, or side off of my dad's the stock car that we built with the Challenger body on it. Good wall art. So you can see my temporary addition ended up being permanent, so I can keep the limo in here. But as I was parking this, yeah, I parked it a bit close over here because I gotta get my snowblower in here for the winter. Because it's October, it's already getting down to the 30s, mid 30s at night now, so it's coming. So I gotta get my snowblower fixed and get that in here. But here is the 80s town car rear axle that'll go in here. This is the cross member. I gotta trim it up on the sides right here, maybe a 1/2 inch all together and 1/4 inch on each side, so it'll actually fit between the factory frame rails. Got a pair of disc brake brackets off of a 98-02 town car axle, which actually I think those are the factory ones off the silver 02 I got out there. I got some tractor arms that'll go from the factory lower mounts to the leaf spring, the front leaf spring mounts, with some, I had to buy, because the tractor arm's got 3/4 inch hole. Of course the diff and the leaf spring perches have 1/2 inch holes. I got them going there. That'll actually take up my slack. And for the lower mount on the axle, I actually got to trim these up, because with both of these in there, it is way too wide, but that'll give me my articulation I need. I had to cut the factory arms just to get it out, because there's no way the bolts are coming out. I had to cut the bolts off with a torch, and I don't have torches, so cut them off. I just weld them back together so I can get it mocked up. I'll get some adjustables, but I'm sure these ones will be too short. Hopefully that'll be the case and not too long, because that would suck, but I'll make that work. And I got to clean it all up, cut the factory coil spring mounts off, cut the bump stop mounts off, and weld up, make an axle brace for it like I did on the Dart. And then, being that my 87 Fifth Avenue here was a base model, it didn't have the power antenna, no power trunk release, and no opera lights, no rear amplifier for the rear speakers, and I'm sure there is something else I was missing I don't remember at this time. But it was just a base model, nothing special. But I happen to have a pair of opera lights. Let's see what side is this? It don't say. Must be the left side. But I got them, which these factory luminescent lights, they always go to hell. I don't even have the thing here anymore for it. But since these lenses, see this one here, the edge of it there is broke, which no big deal, is hidden. But this one's cracked right there, so that lens is junk. And I know probably to find a good pair is gonna be hard. And then where the hell did it go? I had, I thought, an LED strip, but you could see each individual LED behind it, which looked ugly in my opinion. So what I found was this luminescent light here on eBay, which got a little trailer battery as a test battery. I guess that shows up better on the camera than it does in person. And I'm making my own custom lenses. Wait, see if I can do this. The light will fit right in there. I'll have to take and run some wires through the doors, I'm sure, and tap into the marker light wires, either front or rear. So that way I can wire that up. And for these lenses, I'm actually taking and cutting up a old fluorescent light lens. And new trailer hitch for the limo, because that one's rusted in there, so. But, and then a cool little lowrider bike that I got from my buddy Andy. I was going to redo it and repaint it to match the Dakota, but I think I'll leave it black, just because, well, it matches the Fifth, except for the gold. But the gold is not looking the best. You can see the fender, and the fender don't line up, but whatever. I'll get a new fender for it, or fenders, get some new chrome goodies for it, and make it match the Fifth. And I thought there was something else I was going to talk about on this damn thing, but hell, I don't know. And that is a lowrider issue. That is the factory, well, not factory, but that's a transpan off of my Silver 02 Lincoln that I got dropped down, and actually wore a hole into the pan, lost all my tranny fluid, and smoked the tranny. So I should make a pan or a skid plate for it, but that'll never happen. I'll just drive it and watch for the big bumps. Oh, that's what I was gonna talk about. This. Running the 13-inch tires, 308 gears from the 80s Lincoln in the Explorer diff. I'm topped out at like 55 miles an hour. 60 is pushing it. So, I got a tranny out of a 93 or 94, pretty sure it's a 93 Dakota, two-wheel drive Dakota that I scrapped. Overdrive tranny, so that should help out. I should be able to hopefully cruise highway speeds with this thing again. which would be awesome. Because my buddy Andy that I got that bike from also has a lowrider 5th Avenue. They're the only, well, there's one other one with hydraulics I know of out in Cali. But both of these are the only other two that 5th Avenue is on hydraulics, and they both happen to be in Wisconsin. But they're 5 hours apart. So if I can get the 4-link in it, get the tranny in it, the overdrive trans, hopefully I can cruise this thing on highway again, which would be awesome. But right now at this time, it's all hopes and dreams. I ain't gonna lie. But maybe after I get the rear axle and the front end rebuilt in the Dakota, I can get that rear axle in it, get that tranny in here this summer, and work on this. So I'm hoping I can get the Dart to a point where I can maybe drive that this year. But another thing is, the overdrive tranny, I gotta pull out the seats and the carpet, because I gotta modify the tranny tunnel for the overdrive tranny because it is so much wider in this area. This part here is the same as a 727 or 904 width-wise, but this is bigger for the overdrive gear. So, and then I'm sure I'll have to modify tranny lines. Well, they might work. Who knows? We'll find out. I know it's been done many times, but I've never done it, so we'll find out. Now I'll finish getting this garage cleaned out. I gotta move all this shit here so I can fit my snowblower in here. And go work on the Dart again. Yay! So, see you guys next time.